Broadcast 2013. Coming up next on A Lum of Lum, Mercy and Grace, shining and streaming through the darkness and shadows of apathy and hate. Coming up next on this show, just want you to know ahead of time, disclaimer, that all respective copyrights of the songs used on this show, starting with NBC and the Canadian Animation Company, I don't know what the name is, but it was NBC, copyright NBC in 1993, of the David Copperfield, the animated movie. The song is There Anyone in the part of the movie that will be played first? Second, it will be copyright Jonathan Pierce, Carry You With Me, 1995, on that album in respect to parties, the copyrights of all those songs that came from whoever it was. You can look it up. The second one is copyright America, 1971, I Need You, and the respective parties. The other is Chicago, Hard Habit to Break, 1984, copyrighted Chicago, and the respective parties. And then finally, copyright Brian Duncan and Light Year Records, 1985, Brian Duncan, and Talk to Me Gently, 1985, 1986, copyrighted Brian Duncan and Lighthouse Records. It's the only one I knew the records on. That's all coming up here on the premiere showing of A Light of Love, Mercy and Grace, shining and streaming through the darkness and shadows of apathy and hate. Radio Show 1. This is Zora, King Joshua, Holy Conservative Animation Ministries, Radio 973.1. And coming up next is a show that is a radio show and TV show eventually following, but the radio show first. I love radio because that's how it started out before even television. God used the radio, then television after. And I'm going to now carry on the torch of two things. One, it is God wants me to continue on, and I always want to do a show like this at night that was like Night Sounds with Bill Pierce. And the second is a lum song type hour of in the night of those certain programs that used to be on when they played lum songs and they talked about poems and they spoke to your spirit and heart and helped you out to relieve the stress and things you went through of the anxiety and everything in the day, and your aching and grieving heart to cope and aid and heal and mend. And I missed that, so I'm bringing that back. So here we go. This is Air Broadcast 1 of a show unlike what I do in the daytime, but at night it's more the spirit, heart, and drama and love, mercy, grace level that will be in the way of what night sounds and your lum songs and request lines at night that send about poems and all that, both of those together. It's called A Light of Love, Mercy, and Grace, shining and streaming through the darkness, shadows of apathy and hate. You know, here is the first radio show of A Light of Love, Mercy, and Grace, shining and streaming through the darkness, shadows of apathy and hate. And I am going to tonight talk about something I think we all go through, something that we all long for that we no longer have. And that is what we used to be able to be around, live around, and to love, embrace, hold, and grasp. No matter what it is no longer here. And we sometimes wonder in this area, when will things change? How come this isn't happening yet, and I'm even there now? And that's why I was titling this one about what we all feel like, and I wanted the first one to be about that, and I wanted to title it the one thing about that we feel, is there anybody that will love us, anybody who will keep us, anybody who will replace the ones who died, the ones that left? When is the aching and grieving going to end of the loss of a loved one, the loss of friends and family, the mending of the broken marriage, broken relationship, torn apart family, loved ones, the hurt feelings, the aching words that were said that pierced like a knife in the spirit and heart of the person, or when they're going to feel better, or they're going to raise out of their coma or their sick bed, when we're going to get over these trials and tribulations, these things we go through. We need people around. We need the love that we're no longer getting, and we search for, ask for, ache for, grieve for, from someone to take the place of the one who's no longer with us. There's a one I put above it all, because that's exactly tonight what it's about. Who will replace and continue the love of the one that no longer is on this earth to love, to care for you, to be there when you wake up and go to sleep, to spend the day with you, to walk along with you, to talk, to pray with you. This is my title I've given this one, and that is there anyone?
Is there
early song. That one was taken a long time ago for an animated David Copperfield movie. It was a Canadian one. And this song fits tonight, and I'll be playing more. As I told you, I'm not really like Bill Pierce when it comes to all he did is, in his case, for him, he had to play the Christian songs. But I will make it be that if they're played the secular ones, they call them, or searcher songs as God calls them, I see nothing wrong with playing regular songs of songs with Christian songs, as I am a different one. But I'm like Bill Pierce, God and Jesus said, but I am of a different kind that leans also to the lump songs and the night shows they used to have, that they would make a show talk about the things that would calm the spirit and heart. And that's what this is of. This radio station that's being made is going to be of many colors, many shades. That's what it is. It's not going to be in the nighttime when everyone's in bed or early morning. It's going to be like it was in the day, because in the day you hear me bowed, you hear me strong, I still am calm. I talk about those things in both lights. Sometimes it's a soft voice and boldness and stand for cartoons, couples and cartoon series, animated features, films, comics, and books with a biblical, political, spiritual, and constitutional Christian searcher conservative perspective and attributationing or accordance and speaking and talking, response or reporting and so on and so forth as an anchorman reporter and all this, but not tonight, not at night. Anyways, it is July 7th, 2013, on a Sunday at 1:42 a.m. and 3 seconds, and it's in late night second hour. As you heard in the song, we're searching for somebody, anybody to love us, someone that will let us love them. It's the hardest thing in the world to trust or have faith in them. Being burnt or scarred as much as we all have been. And believe me, it's very hard to, again, put our confidence in somebody, or let alone get close after someone dies, because we're afraid, are they next? And I don't want to go through that again, so we back away and we draw back and we hide in the shadows, stay away from the light as much, and we don't get too close because we don't ever want to feel that aching and grieving again of a death or a loss or a breakaway from somebody in the family, from your mom to your dad to your brother to your sister to your friends, your aunt, your uncle, all of them, that every one of those areas. I've heard that song that I just played in January 11th. I went and bought the movie on the 10th, January 10th, 2013, and my mom led me to it from heaven, and I know it. Because even in heaven, she still watches over me and knew I needed that one movie. I even have a clip. The first part of the song shows the cat, male David Copperfield's counterpart, singing, and the female Agnes cat hears him in the spirit saying, "Is there anyone?" And somehow she knows it's him and is led to him to say that she cares. But he says, "I care." And I keep saying in my life, where are those ones that are that spirit sensitive? Because it's hard. I keep waiting for a prophetess to come even in my own life, and anyone to replace my mom. And I keep saying, is there anyone to guide me and lead me now to your gone? Because the truth be told, when the mother goes, half of you dies, half of you never is made into what you will be now. The dad can only do so much. The mom also modes the son or the daughter. And when the mom goes, there's a missing piece in all areas of the spirit and heart. It can never be, as long as it is, they could ever come about, reveal themselves, make it stronger in areas in your spirit and heart to guide you or lead you through, to carry you. We all need somebody. We all need anyone who's willing to love and care in the right way, and not just for trying to get you to change, trying to get you to do something, trying to get something from you. Because we know how it is. But when the touch of anybody that we know is the right touch, again, the need for the aiding and healing to come in, that's what we're looking for. That's what we strive for. This next song talks just about that very thing. It's talking again about, is there anyone, but it's still, it may not particularly say it in the song, but it is talking about remembering and carrying them with them and standing forever and what they were, never forgetting what they have done, and the words staying with them in their heart forever. Wherever they go, they'll always be there and never far away, because they're still with us even if they're in heaven. This next song is a song I dedicate to my mother, who died 3 years and 9 months ago, coming up now on the 18th of July. And I keep asking God, where is that prophetess? Where is the new mother? I am also 32 and still waiting for mine to come, and I'm giving up practically, thinking she just don't care or don't want to get married or don't want me. I really think sometimes in this whole world I am beginning to just think that there's just no one for me, because it's just been so long, and it's kind of hard to even want to even love someone that doesn't even care or discern out or attain my aching and grieving in the night and midnight hour, wherever she's at. Sure, I don't want someone that don't hear God completely in the spirit and heart. To me, it's like I don't matter that God wants my aching and grieving gone, that the obedience and appliement that doesn't happen, it's not worth it any longer. I just want a female to continue on, a motherly female to continue on my mother's life and ministry and her love. She knew me best in animation over everything, and even from heaven she still guides me to movies like that David Copperfield one, an animated film from 1993 Canada, NBC Studios. No longer anymore do they want that. No, we have moved past the times that we used to care about the spirit and heart. As you've noticed, the devil has removed every soft song from the end of our animated films and has basically removed everything of spirit, heart, dream, vision, love, mercy, grace, and right holiness and faithfulness and the love of a man and a woman from our cartoon series and animated feature films, mostly now. But the soft song, above all, the lump song, has been gone, taken, stripped away by these studios today. But in that time, 20 years ago, they thought it necessary, and it was a vitability. It was an apparency that they must have soft songs and lump songs at the end of movies, TV, direct-to-DVD, animated feature films, or they did not feel like they were giving them their all, their blood and their spirit and their heart and their rama of all that they had in themselves that mattered so much about this movie being the final piece of the masterpiece. And and the pottery finally becoming its vessel of what it would become from the clay. There would be the carpentry that was cut perfectly to the final craftsmanship of what they showed by putting a love song at the end of the animated feature films and the TV movies in them or on there. And it started sneakily going out in the late 1990s, and I seen it. Then finally after Shrek, and then finally after a few Disneys, the soft song went. And then came the crowd at the end, the stuff that makes no one change, no one be delivered, no one's heart to feel or attain, which the devil didn't want, because that's where salvation comes. It's when the love songs are the end of the animated feature films and the directed DVDs and TV animated films, some cartoon series even. That's why. He didn't want you to come to salvation and atonement, because he knew the spirit and heart would be touched and look towards God. That's why he attacks the love of man and woman now, too, with all this that's going on as well. That is everything contrary to God. Who would ever think we'd live in a world where the very love of a man and a woman is now being put into question, or even would be seen that if a man and woman kiss, it's to be censored. It's to not be seen anymore. It's to be degraded. It's to be discriminated and segregated within animated feature films and on cartoon series. And yet, the other side, the things against God, do not get censored, discriminated, or segregated any longer. The things that we never could think imaginable that goes against God. And a woman's love and kiss on the lips and hugging, and their words said strongly now are to be discriminated, segregated, cut out, censored. Truly, is there anyone that's like what it used to be in the old days? Where are those leaders of animation ones wanting love songs and heartbreak songs and of course the soft songs at the end of the movies and then the cartoon series and the animated TV movies as well, directed DVDs? I just wanted to cover that. As I said, animation is always going to be on this radio station, basically to focus on this whole thing all the time. On Asia's Origins of the Holy Conservative Animation Ministries radio and TV or television station. It will always focus on animation somewhere. Each one of the radio shows or TV shows will always focus on it. But tonight it's Is There Anyone? And the next song talks about that very thing. Carrying them with us, the words, what they were, never ever letting them be far from them, and keeping what they were, everything they said, all their words, and never forgetting them, and keeping them in our heart. Like a guardian angel, they are always there to carry them, and we are always there to carry them with us. Jesus, and I carry you with me. 1995. Oh boy, it's been a long time. I remember on Valentine's Day picking that up on February 14, 1997. And my mom was alive then. I mean, I would have never thought that was going to happen. I mean, no one ever sees it coming. I mean, we laugh and we cry, because that's what we used to do. And we always question about the things they teach us, and then realizing we have to find our own personal relationship with God, or whatever you decide if you're working out your own salvation of having no faith, which I told you I don't stand in the way on, because I am myself. I ain't going to push you into it. You'll come to me, God said, and ask about this faith. If you wanted to be part of my God and Jesus, people need to quit pushing their self on them, but at the same time, do not deny it. Many have come up to me and said, I love it that you don't deny your faith, even though I'm a Buddhist or a Hinduist or a Universalist or a Wiccan or an atheist. I don't want you to denounce your own faith. I don't want you to sugarcoat yourself. And that's how I know that you really are what you say you are, that you're real. That you're one that stands and don't care what anyone thinks, and they admire it and appreciate it. And they stand with me more because I don't deny my own God and Jesus. And yet my own tell me to deny them, to the very ones they say that would want me to deny them, and yet they're the ones that don't want me to deny them. Of Wiccans, atheists, Universalists, or Buddhists, or Hinduists, or Muslims, or whoever they are, of whatever religion. They accept me as I am, and they love my zeal and my determination for God, Jehovah. But we need these ones in our life. As fluent as the seasons changing, of the water coming down in the spring, it needs the grass to be sunlighted with the rain coming down to make things grow. That's the way we need to love them, one in our life that is no longer here. The next song talks all about the needing, like the spring itself, to survive. And just going on and loving, getting through, but still needing that now is no longer there, and needing to see it, needing to want to touch again what is not there with us, no longer can be part of our life. This is America, and I need you. (1971). and I Need You, America, 1971, or they came out in 1970 as a single, but I think it was 1971. But in that song it said, you're no longer here, now you're gone, and we have to carry on. Carry on after the one that's gone that you loved is out of your life, has left it by a sudden tragedy, diseases, or by accidents in cars, planes, or trains, or anything that could have happened. Wish you never, ever in your life would go through that would happen. And you think that this shouldn't have happened to me. What is the reason for it? I lived a good life, I did this and that, and yet it seems like God is coming down on me. And all this that I have to put up with. But it's amazing how the time comes to that point where all the time those little things that we took for granted mean more once the person has died or left. And we think about it in the night mostly, in the day, in the morning, in the afternoons. And we never did appreciate that time, never knowing it would come, taking their time, thinking we have the days that will last forever, spreading our love so thin, too thin, and thinking that we were fortunate that they had us instead of us being blessed to have them. And the fight goes on in the night of our life and the night of how it seems to happen at night. That's when it happens. It comes to us. Why is that? I never even know. It's the midnight hour. That is, the heartbreaks come back, the aching and grieving, tears flow, the prayers to God and Jesus, to your thoughts. Again, if you have no faith out there, I'm addressing all of it. And God, Jesus told me if you don't even believe in Him, working out your own salvation is perfectly fine. I'm going to be like the rest of these people, so I'm going to cover you too. All faiths. But the one thing that I'm talking about, the way I am, is if you want this salvation and atonement, then you can have it, and you can pursue it yourself. I am not one to push it towards you. I'm one to say it's a choice that you can take by seeing the example I live, and if you want to be that way, if you want what I have, seeing the joy and the love, the way I can carry on, even losing my mom and all these other things, and that's what you so desire to have and want to attribute after and want to attain in your spirit and heart of God and Jesus and my God and Jesus, other people's God and Jesus, one we believe is the only God and Jesus, and I believe, then you're welcome to take Him into your life and ask for His Son to be the one to take your shortcomings upon Him and your mishaps, your spiritual scars and wounds, and all that, because that's really what it is. It is still the same. I don't need to say sin, because that's what it is. Our shortcomings or fallings, failures. It's the same. It's just the scars and the marks that really is taken upon Him, because that's what sin causes, is spiritual amputation, spiritual oppression, and scars and marks. That's the real reason why He hates it when we fall in it, because He's a holy God and Jesus. But again, that's for the one that wants it. There's some that can choose their own salvation and atonement and say their own prayer. I don't need to guide them, because it will come to them. But the next song covers about taking for granted love we used to have that no longer is there. Now I know, again, it's related to what I said about is there anyone, and each song tonight is that mixture of Christian and secular. You heard one Christian song with Jonathan Pears, and I Carry You With Me, 1995. The next song was a secular song of people that know God from a conservative, or just, we call them searchers. God called them searcher groups, but you know, the secular artist was America and I Need Ya, 1971. And now the next song is from Chicago, Hard Habit to Break, 1984. Peter Cetera and the Chicago Band remind us never to take love for granted or spread it too thin or think they're fortunate, lucky to have us, and that we think that, you know, their world dwells around us so much we hardly know that there are times in the little moments that we don't cherish, we don't take in, we realize once they're gone. And we'll wake and grieve in the night contentedly for it, fighting with our emotions, can't get them off our mind, but we cannot get them off our mind and out of our spirit and heart. It's the hardest thing to get used to when that one goes, whether for death or parting. It just is impossible. It's a big mistake. It is the worst thing we ever could have let happen. So here's Chicago, Hard Habit to Break, 1984. Chicago, Hard Habit to Break, 1984, Peter Cetera, and the guy that would take over for him after he left. In fact, that was his last album he was ever on before he went completely on his own. I bet you're wondering right now, it's like, wow, I cannot believe this. How is it that this radio show, that this one, that God, Jesus, has raised up, has not seen any discrimination or partiality between the songs that are Christian and the secular songs, which is soft song department of the love songs, heartbreak songs, changing songs, second chance songs, regret songs, and so on and so forth, spirit songs. That's what amazes you about this show. But I wanted to leave it on this note, and I might, again, cover this, because I might have a part 2 to some of these. But we don't really know what we have until it's gone, and we need to hold every moment in precious memory of the ones who are taken from us, whatever way it is. Because you never know when that morning will be, you'll wake up, or that evening that you'll hear that finally say, they're gone, they're in heaven, or they're no longer with us. And they slip away forever, and we never got to say goodbye, or I love you. But I did on my birthday, 10 days before my mom died. I got to kiss my mom goodbye and say goodbye for the last time, which I somehow knew in my spirit and heart it would be. This last song I leave you with talks about when your mom was alive or someone was around that no longer is there, and they left through heartbreak or breaking up in emotion, emotional breakdown, or tearing away, or misunderstanding. You got your heart ached and broken, and you no longer hear that soft voice to comfort you and take you back to where you used to be in confidence, to strengthen you, to pull you through again, and be in there to be just that way that it was in the words that were said, to uplift you and to sustain and carry your spirit and heart through everything and what you would face and how you felt at that time and what circumstances that you were going through. This is by Brian Duncan. This is the Christian RCN, Brian Duncan. And I will leave you with this one, and then I will close right afterwards with a few words. This is from Brian Duncan. And it's about how we want to be talked gently to. Again, he talks about God. And how the friends turn away, and everyone's gone, and how God will get your attention, or Jesus, or whatever you want to believe does, but somehow life finds a way to let you know. Now you end up nursing a heartache, a wayward soul, caught between the right and the wrong, nursing a heartache, finally seeing the writing on the wall, going through it, being crashed down, brought to your knees in prayer, reaching out to something, and the truth just seems to be dazed or in blurriness, in a mist or fog, and it's unclear. Confusion on every side, just wanting that touch again, that gentle talking of God and Jesus, the mother, the father, or the brother, the sister, or all them again. I'll leave you with this. God bless and keep you always. And may God and Jesus be there for you through all, no matter what you're going through. And show love and blessing, keeping, aiding, and leading you in all holiness and truth, pulling you through and carrying you through all the hard times and all that you go through. And to all those of your family and friends you hold dear, near, and close. Here's Brian Duncan, and Talk to Me Gently, 1980. Or 85, one of those ones. I don't remember the year, but it is one of those. Oh, it was 1985. Yes, it was 1985. Brian Duncan, Talk to Me Gently, 1985. Had to. I just love doing that. I'm going to leave you with a clip that reminds me of what we need to do after something goes on. And it was perfect because it was in Leafless in Seattle. And it reminded me about how I was. That, we just got to keep getting up and breathing and keep telling us to go on until finally you don't have to keep saying to go from day to day and breathe again and get up and breathe again. till finally you do not remember any longer the aching and the grieving of what you go through. I will leave you with that clip, and then I will immediately end the show. This is air broadcast 2013 of the first air broadcast and first radio show of A Light of Love, Mercy, Grace, shining in and streaming through the dark shadows of apathy and hate. So yes, this is a light of love, mercy, and grace, shining and streaming through the darkness, shadows of apathy and hate. Radio Show 1. I'll see you next time.